Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Valley News now at 11. Duke Schindler joining you here on this Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot what day of the week it was. But I may not know what day of the week it is. However, I do know we have almost 70-degree temperatures on the way here. Something to get excited about here as we approach the middle of the week here. So for more on that, let's send things over to meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning on this tax day. Hopefully you're getting those taxes done and getting them out of the way because the rest of the day looks fantastic to get out and enjoy some beautiful weather here. We're looking at some sunshine and temperatures rising into the 60s to even some low 70s for some places in the Southern Valley, especially southeastern North Dakota. Not too much wind, more out of the south or southwest by the afternoon with some gusts into the teens. If you have some Wednesday evening plans, looks good too. We're looking at temperatures into the 50s, holding in that range even into the late night hours for tonight. We do this again tomorrow. More places getting in on those warmer temperatures, but changes will be coming starting tomorrow night and Friday. First alert weather day. We're first alerting you to our next system that has the potential to bring us wintry precip, some wind with it as well. And one extra concern here is ice accumulation if we see this precip fall in the overnight hours and into the morning when temperatures will be near freezing. So check back with us. We'll keep you updated.
Thank you very much for that, Lisa. Now taking a look at current conditions we're seeing out there right now. I'm pretty sure when I woke up this morning, it was around 34, 36. We've already jumped up to 51 degrees today. Like Lisa said, get those taxes done and enjoy today because winds not too substantial either. A crisp 10 miles an hour, nice little breeze. But as we see and move on throughout the day, sunny, sunny, sunny. Finally, right? Feels good to have that sun out. Then winds do taper. You know, they start ramping up a couple miles an hour more, but then taper off around 3 p.m. into the night where we're down to 8-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the southwest and south. And taking a look at the next 12 hours, it might be a windows open kind of night, or just at least crack it open for a little bit of a breeze there. Winds not too substantial as well, and as you can see, getting further into the day, we see 73 degrees topping out at around 5 p.m. Northwest winds coming at 15 miles an hour, and no precipitation. About time, right? But things start ramping up on Friday. As you can see, 42% chance of rain, and yeah, you saw that correctly, and you are currently seeing that correctly. Yeah, 31 degrees, back to where we started. You know, we've been talking with the meteorologists. It feels like this winter and even into spring, it's one step forward, two steps back, but things do get more consistent, thankfully, as the week goes on. Next week, I'm talking. 71 today, 73 tomorrow, 42 Friday, 37 for a high on Saturday, and windy on top of that, 24 miles an hour. Wind gusts could occasionally get over 40, so keep that in mind if you're hitting the road. But coming up the start of next week, 61, 65, 64, 55, and 52. With not much here looking for precipitation, maybe they're Wednesday and Thursday. I'm sure that'll get more updated as we continue to move on throughout the week. But we also got some headlines to get to here because Fargo is about to elect its first ever full-time mayor, and one candidate says it's time to stop talking and start acting. Sekou Sirleaf is running for mayor and currently chairs the Fargo Human Rights Commission, saying his work there gave him a close-up at what the city government needs to do better. Now, Sirleaf says Fargo is growing, but city government hasn't been able to keep up. He's calling for a shift from the current at-large commission to a ward-based city council so every corner of Fargo has a voice.
When I become mayor, when I'm elected, one of the things I want to work on first is transitioning the city from a city commission to a city council, where we create wards.
Now, the Fargo mayoral election is set for Tuesday, June 9th. Then a judge has set bond at $750,000 cash. Or $2 million through a surety bond for 65-year-old Nancy Jean Trottier. Now, she is of Sun Lakes, Arizona, but is charged with the murder in the 1981 death of a newborn found on the campus of Valley City State College. As a condition of her release, she must submit GPS monitoring at her own expense. Her preliminary hearing and arraignment is set for May 21st. Then parents are continuing to ask questions about a shooting incident in the Heritage Middle School parking lot in Horace on Monday. That did involve a construction crew that was subcontracted, so not a part of the actual school district. However, we have Valley News team Cindy Zatz, who spoke with the West Fargo Public School Superintendent to learn how this could change district safety in the future.
That we are always preparing and thinking about what if.
This was the scene at Heritage Middle School Monday after a construction worker identified as 40-year-old Garmanu Wiles allegedly shot a coworker in the hand in the parking lot. Wiles had been sent home earlier to try to de-escalate the situation.
We spent most of the day in incident command, or much of the day trying to navigate a very difficult situation that was very scary for our families.
The parking lot incident prompted all 3 Horace schools into lockdown. The district says the extended lockdown was not because of ongoing threats. It was to protect the integrity of the active crime scene.
These situations are very difficult. Our first concern is the safety of our learners and our educators, and then ensuring that we are partnering with law enforcement so that we aren't telling a story that isn't accurate.
In a letter on Tuesday, Superintendent Beth Sleddy acknowledged families were left without key context during the incident.
We have student safety and staff safety is our #1 priority. And if we don't communicate with you as quickly as you would like, it's because we're taking care of the students and the staff, and we don't have all the information.
While workers work outside, Sleddy says workers stay out of the schools.
Anybody who would have to work in the building with students would go through our protocols at the front desk, showing their ID with that background, but they don't work in the building when school is in session unless something is broken.
She says the district will continue to keep students and staff prepared for any potential incidents in the future.
West Fargo Public Schools spends a lot of time on preparing for events like this, hoping they don't happen. But in this particular instance, we had an incident. It was in the parking lot. We followed our protocols.
All right, thank you very much for that, Sydney. Now, the district has conducted full-scale emergency response exercises every year since 2015. The next one is actually slated for today, as the district says it will continue to cooperate with law enforcement as the criminal investigation continues. Then, in situations like some experienced on Monday, it can certainly bring anxiety to students as well as parents. Caitlin Mickelson, a child psychologist at Sanford, says it's normal to feel these feelings, and there are some things you can do to ease your mind in the moment.
So that's why we talk about practicing deep breathing, because that really helps to slow that system down. And so one thing I would recommend is that everybody take a deep breath to help calm their body down. The other thing that helps when we're dealing with either something that's making us feel anxious or an active threat is to move your body.
Mickelson says post-incident, you can expect some anxiety or symptoms like difficulty with sleeping the first few days. If your child is experiencing acute stress disorder, Mickelson recommends reaching out to your doctor. All right, and now we'll bring things back here as we'll take a look at some road conditions around the area here. Looks like we don't have any comments here to take a look at, so we'll just keep going through this, and let me get rid of that. There we go. All right. Going through things, of course, things are looking great around the Minnesota area. Feels like taking a look at these roads might be we're not going to see much action. Let's just put it like that. This picture snapped at 11:03 a.m. Really not too long ago, within the last 10 minutes. A snowplow cam still out there doing some work, and another one right near Fergus Falls. Not much to plow, as you can see. Let's just take a look around the area, see if we can catch a few videos. Look at the day outside. Man, it's looking good. We're finally approaching summer. And, well, I was going to say clear roads, but we all know how construction season can put a hinder in that, I should say. All right, let's check out one more video, then we will try to move over to the North Dakota side of things, if one even decides to load. Just for funsies. Come on. All right. There we go. Look at that. US 75 near 24th Avenue going southbound. Clear as day. Clear as the day can be here. And we're expecting it to just stay that way and get even warmer as we sort of move throughout the afternoon and evening. All right, for once as well, North Dakota not being affected roads-wise when it comes to weather conditions. Now, say goodbye to whatever snow is left on the grounds. Of course, we also mentioned that Saturday there is a chance of freezing rain as maybe a wintry mix, so snow may not be completely gone, but it will be, whatever's there right now will be melted. That is for sure by the next couple days here. Yep, as you can see, grass needs to start growing at any minute now between 19th and 40th Avenue on I-29. Up near Hillsboro, a lot of the same, and looks like we may have a project going on there. Interesting. Yeah, maybe taking a look at some of these road cams too, we'll be able to see some of the construction going on to give you a heads up if we see anything. That could certainly be helpful as we move on throughout the summer. All right. Pembina County, for our friends out there, looking just peachy. Do I see? Yeah, there's still some ice, snow up yonder near the cornfields. And my favorite cam. Had to take it there right out near Cavalier. That is a beautiful look. All right, moving down to Devil's Lake. A lot of the same. Nothing much to go through here. Although I am excited for Devil's Lake. This specific DOT cam, I'm waiting for that lake to clear up so we can get just like a real nice full look at Devil's Lake. I don't know. Just appeasing to the eyes, that is for show. Still a little bit of, snow there sticking around. I'm sure it won't last too long here as the days go on. All right, yeah, we'll pretty much just wrap it up right there. Get through Valley City and back to West Fargo. Some sort of warning, I guess. And as you can see, right near that main avenue exit on exit 43, some moisture under the bridges, so be wary of that. But otherwise, it is looking peachy. And that will wrap things up here. Thank you guys very much for joining us here on Valley News Now at 11. If you got the smartphones or the smart TVs, make sure you can download the VNL News app. You can get on the iOS or Apple Store. If you got a phone, if you got a smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, it's all available through those platforms. So make sure you got that downloaded. Never miss another Valley News Now at 11 or whatever we're doing here on the desk. And also a reminder, tune in at 2 p.m. We got a special Timberwolves playoff preview. We were able to welcome in Minnesota Star Tribune Timberwolves reporter Chris Hine, and we had a lot to talk about when it comes to how weird this team is, what kind of vibes they're giving off, because, well, when it all comes down to it, we've seen the Minnesota Timberwolves play with a lot of effort. That's when they win games. Got to hope they can bring it for round one. Seems like they have the last couple years, but this is quite the different Denver team. We're going to dive into that and way more into this series coming up at Sports Overtime at 2 p.m. But for Duke Schindler here on the Valley News Now desk, we'll catch you at 2.